All right. What's going on, party people? This is your man Grill. Just wanted to hop on here and just wanted to share with y'all some stuff that happened today. Today was a little stressful, um, but then it ended up being really really cool. Got some great news. Um, yeah, today was a little up and down, but man, wasn't what I was expecting for today. So I had a signing today at 1 o'clock, and yeah, 1 o'clock today because I was supposed to have was looking at getting the whole house generator, but the guy, they got backed up and couldn't make it in time. So I said I just have to meet with y'all later. So canceled that appointments, got ready for my 1 o'clock, and because I was trying to get things straight for the guy coming over, I didn't do a doc prep at all. It was a buyer's, barely 100 pages, if that. So it was just a little more than 100 pages because it was one file was 90 pages, the other file was 14. So yeah, it was a little 104. So it was a little more than 100 pages. Got all, I was like, all right, cool, knock this out. And that's like something like that. I was like, I don't really need the doc prep. So I get there, and me and the gentleman was sitting in a conference room because it was at a mortgage office. And we're sitting here at the mortgage office. I'm waiting, I'm thinking that we're supposed to be waiting for some people because they said that's where it's going to be at instead of his home. So I'm like, all right, cool. Meet them there. And I'm waiting. The lady said, oh, yeah, they'll be here in a second. And nobody ever showed up. So I'm sitting here like, okay, what's going on? So in the interim, before I got to the point of trying to figure out where everybody was at, when you're in a situation like that, you can go ahead on and collect the IDs, put them in the logbook, get them to sign the logbook, and then do the oath. And I did all of that. Did the oath, and everything was cool. So we sitting there waiting, and I waited a few minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Nobody showed up, so I said, "Well, let me go and prep the documents since I'm sitting here. That way, when everybody get here, I can go through this here, a whole lot. Ouch, fingernail, a whole lot smoother and everything." And get this guy done. So I said, all right, cool, I'm gonna do that. So while I just sat there, prepped the documents, got all the expiration dates from me, got his name filled out in there in the notarial area, put arrows on the docs wherever I needed to, all that good stuff and everything. And then still nobody showed up. So I'm sitting here like, okay, what the heck's going on? So while I'm going through the documents, I see that it's a North Carolina property. I'm like, okay, well, if it's North Carolina, and in my mind, I'm thinking this is correct, which I found out later I was incorrect, and I can explain why I was thought one way when it was a different. They said I was thinking that attorney needed to be there because it was a North Carolina property, and that's why they had us at that location, and why we was waiting. While we was waiting on the people, and the reason why is because other times I've done a buyer for a property in North Carolina, an attorney was there, and that's what I was always told, that an attorney had to be there. So I'm waiting. I contacted the receptionist. She's like, okay, well, let me check on it, because now she was saying, no, it's just supposed to be y'all two. So I'm like, it went from me thinking that every couple of people's gonna be there to now it's just you and him. I could tell he was a little frustrated. He was being very patient and everything, but I could tell his demeanor toward me was like, do you really know what you're doing? So I was feeling sort of, I was looking pretty bad in this because it looked like I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I had to get it clarified, because of my past experience. Finally got in contact with title. Title was like, oh, no, 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 no. You're okay. Go ahead on and get the closing done, this, that, and the other. So while I was talking to the receptionist, I said, hey, I just need, once I find out what the deal is, I should be able to get him done in about 15 minutes. And lo and behold, while we was doing the signing, he was literally timing me. He kept looking at his watch, and I'm like, okay, this dude is timing me. Now, if he was answering some messages on it, maybe, but it seemed like he was. And the reason why I felt that way because at no other time had he been looking at his watch the whole closing. He already knew what the date was, all of that. He didn't need to read over any documents. He was just signing, signing, signing. I would hand him the papers, give him, let him know what the document was, the title, and he just signed. He didn't care about reading it. So I was like, okay, no need to say anything. And I was like, all right, so we got through that, but I was still feeling bad. I felt good on one end because I asked questions and I was trying to figure it out. I felt bad because the guy would look like, okay, well, you seem like you don't know what you're doing. You came here unprepared. And of course, as we all know, they tend to lump us with the title company like, okay, well, you work for the title company. Didn't they tell you? And I have to keep telling them, no, nobody told me anything because I don't work for them and stuff. So we got through that. Then get out into the car and I get a text message to be to actually help out with the Bill Soroka's TNT show because he wasn't available and I was asked to come on and I was like, and I said that's perfect because most of the time I'm doing a closing at 3 o'clock on Tuesdays, and for me to be able to get on there and help out Laura, that was perfect. I was like, yeah. So I got on there, did that, and then while on there, we was talking and getting that stuff done. And I'm getting phone calls left and right all of a sudden from title companies and signing companies. And then one of the signing company, well, title company I'm talking to, I said, well, let me put you on hold for a brief moment. Go back to answer this, that, and the other. And then next thing I know, they hung up. I'm like, man, I done missed out on some money. I like, dang, gone. So I was feeling a little sad there because I missed out. It had nothing to do with the TNT, but other phone calls that was coming in. So I said, well, all right. And I said, let me shake it off, girl. Shake it off. Don't get all depressed about it. And I'm a little tired, so if you see me blinking a lot, that's why. You get that sandpaper feel in your eyes. That's what I got right now, because I've been up till 3 o'clock in the morning, like for the last week. And tonight, it's like 10:30. I don't wash the dishes. Everybody's fed. I'm going to bed after this video, but I want to do the video with y'all because I didn't want to take a chance of not being able to do it tomorrow. And all of that, So I'm sitting there doing the TNT with Laura Brewer. Oh, excuse me, y'all. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting, I got the phone call, missed out on that. Another phone call comes in. Guy says, hey, you're doing a closing for me. I'm so and so from this signing company. You're doing a closing for me, and just want to talk to you about it. I said, okay, sure. What do you need me to do? And this thing special. He's like, yeah, he said, you're basically the number one notary in your region. And I was like, oh. Now I was so excited I forgot to ask him what he meant, what region. So I didn't know if he meant region for as Virginia, a region for as Hampton Roads. I don't think he meant the whole East Coast, but he told me for my region, and I would have to assume the Hampton Roads area, that I was the number one rated notary, which I always put that in my profile, Hampton Roads number one notary loan closer. So that made me feel real good that, I'm being recognized as that. So I was like, okay, and everything. He said, yeah, because you've done a lot of great work for us. So you're number one on our list to get work too. And I was like, boom. And this is what I've been working toward. And this is what I'm trying to encourage y'all to work toward by just getting out there and doing the work. And they will appreciate that. And they will reward you by giving you the proper title, the proper accolades, the proper opportunities. But if you just constantly sitting back, not taking orders, not doing this, not doing that, unjustifiably just because somebody who you don't even know on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere telling you need to do it this way because you're worth this and you're worth that. The guy was like, man, I'm very appreciative you did this, that, and that. And I think he was the signing company owner. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So he told me what he needed done. It's a new client that he has, and he really wanted it to go well. But also what that told me was that he's been dealing with some bad notaries, some notaries not doing what they're supposed to do. So he was like, okay, we got you. I'm depending on you. That's basically why I took it. And I was like, don't worry, I got you covered. So I was like, all right, cool. Then I had 2 house inspections to do before my 6 o'clock signing. And while I'm out getting ready to do my house inspection, or in the midst of doing it, what happens next? The person who called me earlier, the title company, called me back. So I'm talking to them because I had sent them a text message and they wanted to know could I speak, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. And oh, and I also lost one signing today. So there was a signing that I had for, I forgot what time it was now, but it was for sometime tomorrow, maybe 1 o'clock, something like that. 1 o'clock tomorrow. Got nixed out of the blue, canceled. Well, the title company that called me back gave me two closings, a buyer's and a seller's. I was like, bet. And I had been trying to close, help them close this for a while, but for whatever reason, things went up, down, and it got put on hold about maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, at least 2 weeks ago. So, oh, sorry about that, y'all. I told you I'm tired. So today was a little up and down. I was a little nervous. I felt embarrassed. I felt like the guy was looking at me like I was just crap, but I did everything right. And even with the guy who called me asking me, and I'm sharing this with y'all for a reason, not for y'all to see. He was telling me, yeah, this is a new client. Now, here's the thing. The moment he said it's a new client, my antennas perked up. I said, okay, new client, they may not understand how Virginia works. I said, well, if there's any kind of closing costs, I said, just be aware that Virginia notaries aren't allowed to collect closing funds, unless we have a title license. And he said, well, right now I don't know. He said, see, that's why you number one, because you ask you ask the right questions and you make the right statements. I was like, ooh. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So this, by you knowing your law, note what he's at. Who we talking about? We're talking about what a notary is supposed to do, not all this document presentation. He's like, I need you to get these done. And then he was saying, when you do it, I need the IDs to be like, done this way, that way, the other. So I guess there's specific instructions on how the ID is supposed to be placed in the loan packet, the signed loan packet, executed loan packet, and sent back. And I was like, no problem, I'll make it happen, and everything. So when I, made mention, and I didn't make it sound like, well, I ain't taking this money, this, that, and the other, which I can't. And he was, he was like, see, that's why you're number one, because you ask the right questions, you bring up the right things. And I'm like, boom, So today turned out really, really well. My last signing went a little long because the people was reading over the documents, but overall everything went well today. Got the two house inspections done. Got four to do tomorrow, and I think two signings. So, well, maybe three, depending on the on this these two from the title company that supposed to be a purchase and a sale. I think they're doing the sellers tomorrow, trying to do it tomorrow if they got the documents. And that's what the problem was. She said they didn't have the documents and then do the purchase on Thursday. So I'm happy. So today turned out to be real good, y'all. And I'm sharing this with y'all just so you can see that there's a little up and down, but things work out. You lose an order, you gain an order or two. And that's why I say you always got to be ready to do some work. You always got to be ready to rock and roll. A lot of people are available, but they're not ready to go when called upon. And that's the key. So I was very excited behind that today. And I just wanted to share that with y'all. So I'm getting ready to go to bed. And I'm gonna try to do take some time out to do some videos tomorrow. Um, I just can't remember. I don't forget. That's why how tired I am. So feel free to hit me up in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts on what I said today. Have you had a day like this? Have you had situations like this or something similar? And things still, worked out, for your good and for your betterment throughout the process. And if there's any topics that I haven't covered that you want me to cover, hit me up. Look at the playlist, all of that stuff. I told y'all I'm tired. I'm tired. I can't even think straight. I had 5 things going through I had one thing I wanted to say, and 5 of them popped in my head all of a sudden. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace.